Hi everyone. Myself Prashant Sadashupur. I'm from Mechatronics department from VIT. Today I'm going to present a presentation on LiDAR sensor technology under the guidance of Dr. Sunil sir. So here we start. We can see here LiDAR. LiDAR means its full form as light detection and ranging. Sometimes we call it as a light imaging detection and ranging. So what is LiDAR? LiDAR means it's a laser system that employed for monitoring the nature environment. So it is called as LiDAR. Uh, it is an active remote sensing technology that measures the distance by illuminating the target with a laser and analyzing the reflected light. So it's like all other sensors, but it's similar to the radar technology, but uses instead of radio waves, it can use laser light pulses. So LiDAR can use light pulses like ultraviolet rays, visible rays, and near infrared to image object. So by illuminating the target using a laser beam, a 3D point cloud of the target and its surrounding can be generated by so illuminating the light around the system. Here we can create a surrounding around the object. So here we can get three types of information from the LiDAR. First is range to target, means topographic LiDAR or laser altimetry. Second is chemical properties of target, difference absorption and LiDAR, means how much laser rays can be absorbed by the material. And the third one is velocity of the target, Doppler LiDAR. So it's it's called as Doppler LiDAR. So so we have a question like why we using LiDAR. So because it is used for genetic precise and directly geo-references spatial information. Then laser produces coherent light sources, and it is an active source, active sensor, do not require sunlight. They can use it either during day or night. So we can see in lots of today's vehicles, automobile sector, we can see the for drivingless vehicles, we can see LiDAR will be used for day-night purposes. So it's a very good technology. Then LiDAR is properly used as technologies to making high resolution maps. So we can, with the use of LiDAR technology, we can produce high resolution maps. So history of we can see here history of LiDAR or 3D laser scanning. It is called as also 3D laser scanning, was developed in the early 1960s for submarine detection from the aircraft, and early models were used successfully in the early 1970s. Nowadays, the environmental research is hard to imagine without the use of remote sensing technology like LiDAR, light detection and ranging, and radio waves called as radar. High spatial and progressive resolutions of the measurements, the possibility of observing the atmosphere at ambient conditions, and the potential of curving the height range from the ground to more than hundreds of kilometers altitude make an attractiveness of LiDAR instruments. So the variety of interactive processes of the emitted radiations with the atmospheric elements can be used in the LiDAR to allow the determination of the basic environment variables of state, that is temperature, pressure, humidity, and wind, as well as the geographical surveys. So river bed elevation, study of the mines, density of forests and hills study on underneath of the sea, means bathymetry. These types of in this areas we can use the LiDAR. So we can see a component here. We can see components of LiDAR system. Components of LiDAR system like laser. So here we can see components of LiDAR system. Components of LiDAR system like laser, wavelength, LiDAR transmitter, and scanner. So laser frequency is around 50K to 200K pulses per second, slow and for normal environment, and around in the sea means slower of bathymetry. In the bathymetry means in water it's slower. So there's a wavelength of its wavelength is around infrared. For infrared, it's 1500 to 200 nanometer for metrology. Then near infrared, it's for near infrared 140 to 160 nanometer for terrestrial mapping, and blue green 500 to 600 nanometer for bathymetry, means in underwater. Then lidar transducer generates the laser beam and captures the laser energy scattered reflected from the target. And scanner laser scanner is three sub components: the optomechanical scanner, the ranging unit, and the control processing unit. And here we have other components as IP or IMU, inertia measurement unit, and GPS, which measures the sensor position and orientation. Inertial measurement system also contain accelerometer to measure the velocity, operator, data storage, and computer. So we can see in the laser. The laser is categorized by their wavelengths, like airborne line detection ranging system, 164 to pumped. Then YAG laser, which penetrated into the water with less attenuation than the airborne system, with the 1064 nanometers. It's have a better resolution, can be attained with the shorter pulses, provided the receiver, detector, and electronics have sufficient bandwidth to manage the increased data flow. So we can see scanners and optics in depth. The speed at which image can be developed is affected by the speed at which can be scanned into the system. A variety of scanning methods is available for different resolutions, such as azimuth and elevation, dual axis scanner, dual oscillating plane mirrors, and polygonal mirrors. The type of optic determines the range and resolution that can be detected by system. Then we can have photodetector and receiver of electronics. The photodetector is a device that reads and records the backscattered signal of the system. There are two main types of photodetector technologies. One is solid state detector, such as silicon avalanche photodiodes and photomultipliers. Then we have navigation and position system, which is GPS. When a light detect and ranging sensor is mounted on the aeroplane, satellite, or automobiles, it is necessary to determine the obstacle position and the orientation of the sensor, maintain usable data. So GPS means global positioning system provides accurate geographical information regarding the position of the sensor, and inertial measurement in IMU records the accurate orientation of the sensor at the location. These two devices provide the method for translating sensors data into static points for use in a variety of a system. So it's IMU and GPS are most important components in our LiDAR system. Then we see here operator, which permits operation interaction, which control monitor with the system. Then data storage, so and computers. For this purpose, we have a LiDAR data processing. So for the LiDAR data processing, the light detection and LDR mechanism just collected elevation data, and along with the data of inertial measuring unit is placed with the aircraft and a GPS unit. With the help of this system, the light detection and ranging sensor collects data points, collects the various data points in our surrounding. The location of the data is recorded along the GPS sensor. Data is required to process the return time for each pulses and scattered back to the sensor. So we can first eliminate the laser. We can record the time. After the scattering data back, we also record the time and calculate the variable distances from the sensor or changes in a land cover surface. So each environment use a different calculation, because there is having a different obstacles in between our surrounding. So after the survey, the data are downloaded and processed using specially designed computer software, means LiDAR point cloud data processing software. The final output is accurate geographical registered longitudinal in X longitude, in X latitude in Y, and elevation Z for data are every data point. The LiDAR mapping data are composed of elevation measurements of the surface and are attained through aerial topographic surveys. The file format used to capture and store LiDAR data is simple text file by using the file format through aerial topography survey. The file format used to capture and store LiDAR data is simple text by using elevation points data may be used to create detailed topographic maps with these data points. Even they also allow to generate of digital elevation model of the ground surface. So here we can see components of our LiDAR. So here we can see photodiode receiver, reflected, then motor with angle encoder, rotating mirrors, IR transmitter diode, and outgoing beam. So it can we can see here 360 LiDAR which can transmits the laser and reflected back to the components of the our LiDAR system. Here we can process and gather the data from surrounding and create some maps and obstacles in our surrounding system. So we here we can see one of the RP LiDAR product, RP LiDAR 360 degree, RP LiDAR 360 degree LiDAR. So here we can see the components, various components of this LiDAR. It's here we can see rotating head, then sensor module, which can transmit and receive the sensors. Then here we can encoder, then slip rings, drive motors, insulator, control PCB, and base. So here we can see we can use the motor to rotate our LiDAR to around 360 degree. So here we sensor module can limit the signal and emits the signal from sensor and reflects back, then collects in data, and this laser scanner data can be encoded in a encoder. Then here we can see slip rings and drive motors which can provide the support and move the LiDAR in our 360 degree of area. And here we can see insulator, then control PCB and base. So it's RP LiDAR used in various system. I am also used in my obstacle avoidance reinforcement learning obstacle avoidance robot. Here we can we use it for the detection of obstacles in path of the robot to navigate from goal to goal position. So it's very useful and very handly. So and also we use this RP LiDAR 360 degree in warehouses robots and cleaning robots which are used in home warehouses. So it can easily detect the obstacles and avoid it. So with the use of LiDAR system, so it's very useful. So here we can see the working principle of our LiDAR system. So now we can see working principle of our LiDAR system. So here we can see in some points where we laser can generate an optical pulses. Pulses is transmitted, reflected, and returned to the receiver. This return beam pulse is collected and processed to obtain property of target. Receivers accurately measures the travel time in XYZ coordinates. So we can see in this. So here is the working principle of light LDR. It's a very simple. It's LiDAR sensor mounted on a aircraft, helicopter, driving-less cars, robots, warehouses, robots. So it can generate a laser pulses. It can generate laser pulse trends which send to the surface targets or surrounding about the robot to measure the time and it takes to return its source. The actual calculation for measuring how for returning a light photon has traveled and form of an object is calculated by its formula for calculation is detection is equal to speed of light into time of flight divided by 2. So accurate distance are then calculated to the points on the ground and elevations can be determined along with the ground surfaces and buildings, roads, obstacles, and vegetations can be recorded accordingly. These elevations are combined with the digital aerial photography to produce a digital elevation model of the Earth. So the laser instrument fires it can fire rapidly lots of pulses in the surrounding. The laser light at surface sum at up 150,000 pulses per second. A sensor on the instrument measures the amount of time takes to each pulse for each pulse and replay it back. For each and every pulse, we can it can calculate the time for emitting and reflecting back. It can take light moves, and so light moves at a constant and known speed at a known speed. So the lidar instrument can calculate the distance between the itself and the target with high accuracy. By repeating this in quick progression, the instruments builds up a complex maps of the surface, and it is measured. So with airborne light detection and ranging, other data must be collected to ensure accuracy. As the sensor is moving, height, location, and orientation of the instrument must be included to the determining position of the laser pulses. At the time of sending, the time of return, the extra information of the crucial, the data integrity, with the ground-based light detection and ranging in single GPS location, and the added to each location where the instrument is set up. So here we can see a very important role of IMU sensor and GPS sensor, which we can see with the comparison of data of IMU and GPS, we can find a position of our system. Means our we can take example as a vehicle or aeroplane. So IMU can sense the data of your orientation, and GPS can locate the where we can exact the targets. For each and every pulses, we can calculate this data, and without the data processing, we can generate some complex maps which are surrounding to the environment. So that's the principle. So here in this slide, we can see how the calculation of pulses takes. So detection of distance means the distance from a robot, means something we can take example as a robot. When the robot moving, we have an obstacle in the surrounding is. So the distance can be measured by using transmitter and receiver. So we use a formula as a speed of light into time of flight divided by 2. So here we can see in our diagram, robot can lidar transmit the signal, and from obstacles we can take it as reflected. The pulses will be reflected in divided time. So we can calculate the time for each pulses, and we can calculate the distance. So for the time of flight means is the measurement of time taken by an object, particle, or a wave. It can be like acoustic or electromagnetic, whatever it is. Then to travel distance through medium, this information can be used to establish a time standards. So here we can see how it will be traveled in light or our surrounding environment. Here see a physical picture of lidar remoting sensor. Here we have data analysis and interpretation, then system control and data acquisition, receiver detector, transmitter, and radiation propagation through medium, and signal propagation through medium, and interaction between radiation objects. So here we can take a small object. So transmitter lidar can transmit the radiation, means lasers. We can lasers which will be radiated through a medium. Then then it can strike on object and reflected from that object. So from reflected rays we can receive in a detector receiver. So it can be again sent back to the system control. So here we can have a time between transmitter and receiver, and here we can acquire the whole data for each pulses, and its data will be sent to data analysis and interpretation. From this we can analyze our lidar's generation of pulses, which we can useful to generate a map, like a map and other things. So here we can see one example of nowadays we have seen drivingless vehicles which are using lidar systems, RGB cameras, and lots of things. So it will be very easy to travel through our local roads. So with the most important role is we having lidar having most important role in this system. So here we can see in first image the lidar can emit some pulses around 360 degree to around the system. So here we can see XYZ coordinates of our system, means we can take in here as example as a our car. So it can detect the object around the car. It can transmit the laser light, and it can taken back. So it can generate the pulses, and we from this calculation we can detect the which object we have around our car. So here we can see the visually we can see the lasers which will be emitted by our uh, lidar with on the car. So it can emit in a whole around the 360-degree, and when it strikes on the car, it will be not emitted gone through the car, so it can reflect it from that reflected surface, and without any obstacle we can see it's ranging around the and goes to travel through the whole area. So here we in third image we can see lidar 180-degree lidar. So it's in the only it can emit the lasers in only 180 surface area. So we can see its maximum range of 80 meters around the system. So here we can see real laser sensor data. We can see red dots. Here we can see a red data of which has a obstacle. So here we in above image we can see cars in the road on the road. We can see cars from front of the car. So here we can see the red dots which are the obstacles, means like a car, and which lasers cannot detect the obstacle, means there is no obstacle in between them. That's blue lines. We can it can travel to around with the range of 80 meters around the circle, which can be drawn here. So like this we can estimate the path which like we have in our path we have obstacles or not. So next we can see types of lidar. Now we can see lidar system types. There are three types. There are lidar three types which are based on the platform, board on physical, based on physical process and scattering process. So there are the based on platform, ground based lidar, airborne lidar, and spaceborne lidar. Then based on physical process, there's ranger finder lidar, then dial lidar, Doppler lidar, and scattering process lidars are my relic, Raman, and fluorescence. So we can see here a range finder lidar, differential absorption lidar, and Doppler lidar. So it can be quite number of three generic lidars also. These are, so we can see first range finder lidar. These are the simplest kind of lidar system. They are used to determine the distance from the lidar scanner to an object or surface by using the time of flight principle described by under the how it works. So taken for reflection to hit the scanner and used to determine the distance between the lidar system and object. We can see earlier the example of how we calculate the distance from the object of the lidar from lidar. Now this is a differential absorption lidar. Differential absorption lidar system is it's sometimes referred as a dial. It is usually used in the investigating the presence of certain molecule or materials. Dial system usually fire laser beams of two wavelengths which are selected in such a way that one of wavelength will be absorbed by the molecular of interest, while the other wavelength will not be. The absorption of the beams result in a differential absorption in the intensity of the return beams received by the scanner. So the difference is then used to reduce the level of presence of the molecule being investigated. Dial has been used to measure chemical concentrations such as ozone, water vapor, pollutants in the atmosphere. So it's used in differential absorption lidar based on chemical concentrations purposes. So when we limits the lights lasers from the lidar, it can molecules around the in chemical composition we some molecules can absorb the lidar system, others are not. So from that the data basis we can see the results of in the lidar. Then around other lidar is Doppler lidar. So in Doppler lidar is used to measure the velocity of target when light beams fired from the lidar hits a target moving towards or away from the lidar, the wavelength of the light reflected or scattered of the target will be changed slightly. This is known as a Doppler shift as a result. So here the Doppler term is considered. So Doppler lidar is if the target is moving away from the lidar, the return light will have longer wavelength. Sometimes if it has a red shift, if the moving towards the lidar, the light will be shorter wavelength. So it's very easy to understand when we emit a signal from our lidar, when the lidar is moving. So the when lead is object to moving towards the system, so it can travels very fast and wavelength is shorter, and which moving away it takes a time and it's slow. So from that basis we can calculate the velocity of the target in how much velocity it can moving around the system. So some of the other classing of the lidar systems are grouped into types like platform, types of backscattering. Then say here we can see types of lidar based on the platform using as a criteria. Lidar system can be grouped into 4 types: ground-based lidar, airborne lidar, spaceborne lidar, motion lidar. As we talked earlier, so these lidars differs in construction, materials, wavelength, outlook, and other factors, which are usually selected to suit that work in the environment for the type of they deployed. So types of lidar based on the type of backscattering. During description how the lidar system works, there we mentioned reflection lidar via backscattering. Different types of backscattering exist and sometimes describe the type of lidar. The backscattering includes my, Rayleigh, Raman, and fluorescence. These are the types of based on the backscattering. Then here we can see examples: aerial aviation platform used for topographic mapping and imaging application. It has 3 main components like subparts. First is laser scanning, then fixed wing platform, and rotary wing platform. So here in image we can see aeroplane is traveling. So here we can see your roll pitch of which will be recorded. This data can be recorded by IMU sensor for orientation of our yaw, pitch, and draw of our aeroplane. Then we can see GPS, which can provide us the position of our aeroplane. So from the laser, we can see the laser beams can be scattered and emits on the ground and reflected back to the aeroplane. So we can see in forward direction we can moving our aeroplane. So the flight direction we can be get. So laser sweeps across the terrain, measuring the range and scan angle to ground surface. By this principle, we can calculate the height of the aeroplane from the ground, and we can see the elevations and the difference between the ground and the aeroplane. Now we can see satellites, spaceborne mapping of remote areas from specific purposes. We can see in our mobile we can see terrestrial from our mobile itself, which will be we get images from satellite. So it's having 3 subparts: geostationary, polar, and sun synchronous. From the satellite we can get receive the map of our Earth and terrestrial around us. So then terrestrial ground space produce detailed 3D models of building, bridges, streets, crafts, factories, and other man-made structures. It have short range, medium range, and long range, 3 types. So the terrestrial laser it's very useful in making mapping around the buildings, bridges, and streets. It will be used in civil sites from to generate some map and measuring the height, distance around the where we have to map the map of the land. So then we So here we can see bathymetric mapping system. Bathymetric is the study of underwater depth of lake or ocean floors. In the other words, bathymetry is the underwater equivalent to hypersymmetry or topography. It uses a blue-green laser that can penetrate water and provide returns of underwater objects on bottom. So we can talk about it. When the sea level rise and increase the severity of extreme nature events, these are the been renewed push to further our understandings of the coastal zone. Fundamental of understanding the risk in the areas of high valuability in capturing the near shore and the sea surfaces by bathymetric lidar is the most effective and cost-effective technology to capture both land and sea floors simultaneously by providing continuous detailed 3D elevation model along the coastline. Its ability to successfully capture elevation on both sides of the coastline over area of stretching more than 100 kilometers along the coast has made it the gold standard for coastal vulnerability and near the shore bent habit modeling. So in this, knowing the positions and orientation of all these components enable accurate measurements to be recorded by the lidar system. Some of these sensors can now some of the system can measure more than 1 lakh points per second, resulting in survey with the over 10 point per meter square in shallow water in a recent survey, and delivered in for SOMA over 1.8 billion points were captured in the area of just over 1,100 kilometer square area. The deepest of these measurements are observed in depth of just over 75 meters. So it can we can measure under the water also in the. So environmental conditions for this, the addition of the water column bathymetric lidar surveys makes them more vulnerable, and then their topographic counterparts is to adverse impact of environmental effects. These effects can lead to data gaps, reduce the coverage and measurements quality to minimize these impacts and achieve a successful bathymetric lidar survey. Numerous factors need to be considered, such as weather for flying, air traffic controls, turbidity, tides, sea state, vegetation conditions, and ground control accessibility. Water clarity or lack of therapy is a major hindrance, or shallow water penetration from bathymetric lidar sensors. So lots of consideration we have to take when we have to measure high turbidity sea grasses, the low reflectance sea flows poses risk to the success of the survey. Understanding and managing these conditions can be mean difference between the success and the failure of the bathymetric mapping system. So it's having a individual cast of bathymetric lidar sensors have arguably tends to have more individual characteristics and differences than topographic lidar sensor. So the most obvious split is between the shallow water is less than 10 meter and the deep water system is greater than 10 meter. The shallow water system tends to have less power pulses as a higher measurement frequency, high resolution, smaller laser footprints diameter, and smaller with field of view, and can be generally only measure water depths within the visible water column, not invisible water. So the deep water bathymetric lidar system uses more laser power per pulses, lower measurement frequency, and lower resolutions. Large laser footprints and receiver field of view. This deep water bathymetric lidar system has a depth penetration capability from system 2 to 3 times than SACI depth measurements. So here we can see in the image a clear view of bathymetric, which will be used by ship and then aeroplane and another ship. So we can see the field of view of lidar. It's ranging on a green from aeroplane, which are airborne, is green. Then ship, which is a red, which can measures the underground. So it can helps to ships to measure the distance of the ground of the sea ground under the obstacles to move around the inner sea. So from this we can easily detect the obstacles which are not visible to our eyes, which are so it's and from aeroplane we can also go the green lights emits around the under the water also. So this is a bathymetric mapping system. It's very useful in ships, aeroplanes. So we can see here applications of our lidar. So it can use in agriculture, which create a topographical map of the field and reveals the slopes and sun exposure of the farm. Autonomous vehicles Autonomous vehicles uses LiDAR for obstacle detection avoidance to navigate safely through environments. As we talked earlier, myself also used for my one of my project using a LiDAR to avoid the obstacles in the point-to-point navigation system. So it can I have used the 360-degree LiDAR. We can emits the laser as we can as we our requirement. We can divide it in 24, 35, means in which field of view we have to send the laser. So it can generates the map by reflecting the obstacles details, and we can find the computer vision system through this LiDAR system. So analyze geological and soil sciences, ice, cloud, and land elevation like satellite, as we talked. Then law enforcement, LiDAR, speed guns, surveying, transport, wind farm optimization, and many more. So now other applications also there, as we can see bathymetry. For bathymetry, then DM, digital elevation model. It has XYZ coordinates, and elevation values can be used everywhere in roads, building, bridges, and others. It has made easy to capture and surface height, lengths, and what. Then atmospheric physics, measure the density of clouds and concentration of oxygen, CO2, nitrogen, sulfur, and other gases, and many more particles in the middle and upper atmosphere. And also most important, used in military purposes, military people to understand the borders surrounding land. It creates a high resolution map for the military purpose. Then meteorology, it can study for the study of cloud and its behavior. LiDAR uses wavelength to strike small particles in the cloud and understand cloud density. Then river surveys, green light is we having a LiDAR green light, which is a 532 nanometer laser of the LiDAR to measure underwater information. It's required to understand the depth, width of the river, flow strength, and many more. For the river engineering, its cross-section data are extracted from a light detection and ranging data, DM, to create a river model, which will be flood print map, and which is also used in the micro topography. So LiDAR is very accurate and clear out technology, which uses laser pulses to track the object regularly. Photogeometry or other survey technologies cannot give the surface elevation value of the forest canopy, but the LiDAR can penetrate through the objects and detects the surface value. So now we can see present technical advancement in LiDARs. So we can see one of the advancement is LiDAR speed gun. A LiDAR speed gun is a device used by the police for speed limit enforcement, which uses LiDAR to detect the speed of vehicle, unlike radar speed guns, which rarely on Doppler shift to measure the speed of vehicle. This device allows the police officer to measure the speed of individual vehicle within a stream of traffic. So in earlier days, we can see on the roadside, the police can having a gun in hand, they can use a LiDAR speed gun to measure the speed of individual cars, which will have which useful to seeing a police officers to which car is overspeeding and overspeeding the limited speed to see the overspeeding of that car. Then Google driver, another important is Google driverless cars. Then Google robotic cars have about $150,000 in equipment, including a $7,000 LiDAR light detector sensor range. The range finder mounted on the top of a Velodyne 64 beam laser. This laser allows the vehicle to generate a detailed 3D map of its environment. The car then takes these generated maps and combines them with a high resolution maps of the world, producing different types of data models that allows it to drive itself. So in next slide, we can see a Google driverless car. So here we can see a Google driverless car, which car produced by Google. So here we can see video camera mounted near the rear view mirror. The camera detects the traffic light and moving objects. Then a rotating sensor on the road roof scans the area in a radius of 60 meters for creation of dynamic three-dimensional of the environment. So here we can place our LiDAR, which can revolve around the 360 degrees. Then position estimator, a sensor mounted on the left rear wheel measures lateral movement and determines the car position of the map. on the map. Then distance sensor, here we can see in a headlight, front bumper and back end indicator, the distance sensor. Four radars there in the front bumper and one in the rear bumper measures distance to various obstacles, allow the system to know. So it is a driverless autonomous car which will be produced by Google. It can we can see lidar is here very useful to create then generate map and estimate the position of the car and to travel through autonomously without driver in point to point navigation or provided a distance and goal. So it's very advanced technology which are emerging in nowadays. So we can see a Tesla cars also which are emerging very rapidly in this 1 to 2 years, last 1 to 2 years. So we can see advantage and disadvantage of lidar. So high accuracy. So what is so advantages of lidar is higher accuracy, minimum human dependency, weather light independence, higher data intensity. In higher accuracy is a fast acquisition and processing, acquisition of 1000 kilometers squares in 12 hours and DM generation of 1000 kilometers square in 24 hours. Then minimum human dependence, as most of the processes are automatic, unlike photogrammetric, GPS or land surveying. Then weather light detection independence, data collection independent of sun inclination and the night and the slight bad weather. Then higher data density, up to 1,67,000 pulses per second, more than 24 points per square meter can be measured on multiple returns to collect the data in 3D. So disadvantage of our lidar system, inability to penetrate very dense canal leads to elevation model error, then ineffective during heavy rain and high operated cost. So these are the overview of our lidar system. We can see in this whole presentation. It's a very new emerging technology used in world. So it's very useful to use, but it's cost having around to 7,000 to 8,000 for a small lidar system, which a prototype used in so various simulation models which are used in teaching the training models for our robot. So it's very high cost sensor which are not that nowadays. It's a very not cost effective.
Recording in progress.
So here we can take for example of RB lidar A1. So RB lidar A1 is a low cost 360-degree 2D laser scanner. So it's solution developed by Slamatic, the Slamatic company. The company can perform 360-degree scan within 6-meter range, and it produces 2D point cloud data, can be used in mapping, localization, and object environment modeling. So RP lidar A1 scanning frequency is 5.5 Hz when sampling 360 points each round, and it can be configured up to 10 Hz maximum. So RP lidar A1 is basically a laser triangulation measurement system. So it can work excellently in all kinds of indoor environments and outdoor environments without sunlight. So we can use the in any environment in daylight or night. So it doesn't matter it's light is there or not. Then so here we can see the system connection of RP lidar. So RP lidar contains a range scanner and motor system. Here we see the lidar top body, and within that here we can see right side motor which is attached to the body, which can rotate the lidar scanner and transmitter around 360 degrees 360 degree. After power on each subsystem, RP lidar start rotating and scanning clockwise. User can get range scan data through the communication interface with the use of serial ports like USB. That RP LiDAR even comes with a speed detection and adaptive system. The system will adjust frequency of laser scanner automatically according to motor speed, and host system can be get RP LiDAR's real speed through communication interface. So it can use also for speed detection and for adaptive system. So here we can see the configure system connections of motor system, power supply 5 to 10 volt, then digital system, power supply 5 volt, combination system USB or UART ports, and then range scanner system. Here on the top of the LiDAR body, we can see the range scanner system, then motor system, which rotates our platform, and then platform fixed platform, which is customizable, which is this LiDAR we can mount on anywhere on our robots, cars, etc. So it can rotate clockwise. Then we can see mechanisms of RP LiDAR. So RP LiDAR is based on laser triangulation and ranging principle and uses high-speed vision acquisition and processing hardware developed by Slamtic company. So system measures distance data in more than 2,000 times per second, with an high resolution distance output, which is less than 1% of the distance. Then RP LiDAR emits modulated infrared laser signal, and the laser signal is then reflected by the object to be detected. And then the training signal is sampled by vision acquisition system in RP LiDAR and the DSP embedded in RP LiDAR. So it starts processing the sample data and output distance value and angle value between object and RP LiDAR through communication interface. So it can basically takes the data from resources and collected and with through a communication interface. So to then the high-speed ranging scanner system is mounted on spinning rotor with a building an angular encoding system, which encodes the signals. Then during rotating 360-degree scan of the current environment will be performed. So after that, we can see here the mechanism and scanning system. So here we, as we talked about, the motor can rotate clockwise RP LiDAR scanner, which having the transmitter and receiver. Here we can see one wall. The laser can be emitted through the our system transmitter, transmitter. Then it can goes and collide on the system obstacle, means something like wall, and then reflect back, which will be reflected back and captured by receiver in RP LiDAR system. So the distance between the transmitter and receiver is a distance we have to calculate, is measured by D. So here in next diagram we can see one robot is in a room which will moving in environment, which having emits the laser data through RP LiDAR, and which are which lines are we seeing by eyes, like color in red. This data can transmit and receive back and taking the data with cloud. So here we can see the mapping of our system, which will be done by RP LiDAR. So here the blue line is we can see here. This is the scan done data by our robot through the use of RP LiDAR. So we can see here the rotation of 377 RPM and 6.3 hertz frequency, 6.3 hertz. Then the safety and scope for our for RP LiDAR. So system is uses low power, which is less than 5 megawatt millivolt, then milliwatt. Then infrared laser is at light source and drives it using modulated pulse. The laser emits in a very short time of frame, which can make sure it is a safety to human and paid in rich class laser safety standards. So which is unhazardous and safely we can safely use in our regular life. We can use everywhere in home applications also. There are lots of cleaning robots are coming, which are using RP LiDAR for on top of that to map the room and clean the whole room without any manual operating system, fully automated. So the modulated laser can effectively prevent ambient light. Laser can effectively prevent ambient light and sunlight during the engine scanning processes. This make RP lidar works excellent in all kind of indoor environments and outdoor environments without sunlight. So as we talk about it doesn't matter the outside light and it's daytime or nighttime. It can doesn't affect our laser scanning system. It can take good results. So we can use it anywhere, indoor, outdoor. For system now Google car uses that SLAM lidar in outdoor system, so it works excellent. So data output for the lidar, this is the distance. Distance is measured in unit distance in mm. Then description for this is current measured distance value between the rotating core of the lidar and the sampling point. Then heading degree, heading is in degree. Current heading angle of the measurement, then quality level, quality of the measurement, start flag, boolean flag of new scan. This is the output data we can get by a lidar scanning system. Then application scenarios for RP lidar. It is based on some scenarios like home services, then cleaning robot, navigation and localization, then general robot and navigation and localization, smart toys localization, obstacle avoidance, environment scanning in 3D remodeling, general simulation, localization, mapping. Nowadays, there is lots of startups in Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, which are uses develops cleaning robot. One of is a peppermint robot, which which made for cleaning services, which in home services, hospitals, and big industries where we manually cleaning takes steady tasks. So automated robots are be developed there. So they use this RP lidar to scanning and robot to navigate and localization. Total modeling will be done in that mapping of the room will be done in the with the use of SLAM. Then communication interface. So here we can see the communication interface. These are the slip rings which are supplies the power when the lidar rotates. So it touch only slip rings which just touches and supplies the power. So here we can see transmitter, receiver, power supply and ground pins which are attached to the motor supply, motor motor supply, then motor core, then ground. These are the just contact type slip rings we use for supplying power for rotation, which is very good and not makes complicated tasks to rotate the lidar. Then power supply and consumptions. So ranging scanner system and motor system are powered separately in RP lidar. External systems should provide power supply from them separately in order to ensure data accuracy below chart. Then recommended powers made. And then more specific, if we can see in following table, here we can see RP lidar scanner system and motor system. Scanner system requires 4.9 volt to 5.5 volt DC, low ripples less than 1%, and motor system requires 5 volt to 10 volt DC high current. So motor for rotating the RP lidar requires a higher power. Then we have for safety, we have to make sure the laser always working in the safely range less than 5 milliwatt and avoid any other damage caused by devices. Then comes with laser power supply. RP lidar comes with laser power detection and sensor healthy check features. Then it will shut down the laser and stop working when some of the errors has been detected in the system. That's all. Thank you.